What is going on? Nathan here, aka the Muscle Motivator, and I am coming to you with episode 3 of No Label Live. This show changing the perception of what it means to be living with labels. And so my goal is to have engaging conversations with people that have all different kind of perspectives, and they have all different tools that they use to live a no label defines me life. I'm super excited today to bring on my guest, Monique Hayes, and we're going to talk everything from energy, empowerment, and health, and how both our energy can impact our empowerment and can impact what we create with our health. So I'm super excited. If you get on, go ahead and let me know where you're coming from. I want to know who's watching, where you're watching from, and what got you to tune in. So go ahead and type that below. If you hop on, give me some hearts so I know that you're here and you can hear me. So go ahead and give me some hearts. Drop in where you're watching from as I wait for our guest to get on. But again, this show is all about changing the perception of labels and figuring out that we are the individuals who create our own labels. Let's see, there she is. Alright, let's try this. It worked perfectly when I tested it earlier. Add. And we are waiting. It is adding, and we will see what happens. You know, sometimes technology, it's great, but it takes some time to get used to new things, and it takes time to work out bugs. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And let's see. It did not work, so we'll try it again. And hopefully I don't knock this thing over. All right. We're trying again, people. Because guess what? Life's not perfect. Oh, there we go.
Hi.
Hey. So,
okay, it works good.
Monique, I was telling everybody, I was kind of leading into what I think we're going to talk about today. And what I really like about what I've seen from you is how energy plays a big role in almost every aspect of our life. And specifically with my show being No Label and how No Label defines me, I think how energy leads to empowerment and how that empowerment impacts our health.
Yeah, definitely.
But I just want to give you a chance to kind of introduce yourself. So in your bio, you talked about leaving the corporate world and going on your own journey. So tell us a little bit about yourself and what got you started on your journey with energy and health, because I know you don't like to be called a health coach.
Yeah, I'm still searching for a title for that. Yeah, so I was working in corporate health and getting my master's degree. And can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay, cool. And I was miserable, essentially. I thought that I was doing what I loved, and until I was getting to the point where I was like looking for reasons to not go into work. I was mentally making myself sick, and I was gaining weight. I was binge eating, and it was just like not fun. And there was one point where I'm like, I was 23 years old at the time. I'm like, is this is it? Like, this can't be it. So, I listened to I just was putting out into the universe, like, I needed something. So I was randomly listening to a podcast, and there was a woman being interviewed by the name of Alicia Miller, and she was talking about a retreat that she was putting on with her, one of the women that she works with, called named Janet Raftis, and together they do emotional healing and energetic healing. So I'm like, all right, this is perfect. So I had no idea what I was signing myself up for, and that was in September. The retreat was in October. It was in Costa Rica, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. So I just bought my ticket, and a month later was in Costa Rica. A month after that, I quit my job, and then I had no idea what I was gonna do, and I had saved up enough money to give myself some time to think about it. And so then fast forward to May of 2017, I was introduced to Reiki, and I had heard of energy work and I had experienced energy healing, but I never saw myself actually practicing it. So I was in school for a holistic health coach at the Institute of Integrative Nutrition, and then came across Reiki. I don't even remember how. Reached out to Janet, and then was attuned in Reiki 1, attuned in Reiki 2 shortly after, and then attuned as a Reiki master earlier this year. And so now here I am, and I haven't looked back since I jumped down the rabbit hole, and I love it so much.
So I connected a lot with that story of sitting at work and coming up with reasons to not go in, get sick.
Yeah.
If you're watching, have you ever had that experience where you're just like, what in the world am I supposed to be doing? I don't think that what I'm doing now is what I'm supposed to be doing. I had the same thing happen pretty much right after Summit of Greatness.
Yeah.
I went to an emotional intelligence training, and after I was done, I was like, is this really where I'm going to be for the rest of my life? And I did the same thing. I was like, no, this isn't it. And I started my own thing. So I'm right there with you. If someone's watching and they're kind of on the fence about that, what would you, like, what happened for you that kind of, you're like, okay, I'm betting on myself?
So first I just want to acknowledge Stephano. Like, yeah, he's there. Yeah, we've all been there. Well, it took me, since I was an undergrad. I have a twin sister, and we'd always talked about working together. We'd always been drawn to like holistic health and alternative forms of healing, and just knowing that taking a pill for the rest of your life could not be the only way to feel better. And so that's kind of when my interest was triggered. And then I did some self-experimentation. Once I realized I was so unhappy in the corporate world, I basically just started shoveling away money into my savings account, because I was like, I'm not going to be here forever. So I'm just going to save up as much as I can now, until I can give myself a nice, like, lump sum to live off of until I figure out what I want to do. I knew that once I committed to myself, it was up to me. So if I was going to succeed, then it was fully my decision. And if you're not going to bet on yourself, then who the fuck are you going to bet on? So I just kind of like, I totally procrastinated quitting my job and like fulfilling my dream. And I would talk about it with friends, and I would journal about it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it'd be so awesome if like maybe one day if I could do this, oh, the idea of working for myself sounds awesome. I'm like, why the fuck am I not just doing it? So then eventually honestly, I don't even know how I did it, but the universe was like shoveling me forward and like basically ripping away all of my excuses. My boss, I was looking for reasons not to tell him I wanted to quit, but then one day, just out of the blue, every single person in our office, there's like 8 people in our office, had left early, except me and him. So I'm like, well, it's either now or never. So I just mustered up my courage, and I've never been so trembly in my voice before, but then when I was finished, I felt like I could like fly home, and because I felt so light and so just like expansive. So I knew that was the right choice, because the thought of going into work was so heavy and so constrictive. And so I knew that that wasn't making me happy because of those feelings that were associated with wanting to go into work there. And then when I quit, the freedom and the expansiveness that I felt in my chest and in my whole body was like a euphoric feeling. It was almost orgasmic. And so I'm like, okay, clearly I made the right choice. And then from there, it's just been kind of like a roller coaster of figuring shit out. And I know that every single day I'm asking myself, like, okay, what is my purpose? What is my passion? Like, what am I on this earth to do? And then based off of those answers, I'm taking action to continue to achieve what I'm here to fulfill. And I know that it was not working for a company that I totally didn't resonate with. And I do know that it is helping people become the best versions of themselves by healing emotionally and energetically.
So if I'm coming to work with you and I'm walking in, this is our first time meeting, what do you want to know about me, as far as because I don't know a lot about energy and all that stuff. So what kind of questions would you have for me if I'm walking in to work with you for the first time?
Yeah, definitely. So I will start off by saying a lot of people don't know what energy healing is.
Mm-hmm.
And some people have heard of Reiki, or they're like, is that a massage? And it's kind of like a massage for your energy field. So really, I wouldn't really need to know anything about you in order to do an energy healing session.
Okay.
But what I would do during a session, do you want to know like about a Reiki session?
Yeah,
like
let's go into that. Yeah.
Okay. So if someone were to come to me and wanted a full body Reiki healing, then you have 7 main chakras: your crown chakra above your head, your third eye, your throat, your heart, your solar plexus, it's your power center, your sacral chakra, and then your root is down in your like perineum. And those are the main ones, arguably through like different teachings and stuff, but pretty much those are the 7 main ones. And you have a bunch of other smaller chakras in your body. So the chakras are like energy centers, and they are said to spin in circles or spheres. And so then you have meridians, which are like the energy highways that carry the energy from your aura, your auric field, which is like your quote unquote personal space. So we've all had that experience when someone walks into a room and you're like, either like, oh my gosh, that person seems awesome, I really want to talk to them, or you're like, get me the fuck out of this room. This person, I do not want this person to see me. Like, you know what I mean? You're vibing off of their energy. We're always vibing off of the energy of other people, places, and things. So yeah,
let me ask people, have you guys ever had that feeling? I know I have. If you have, give us some kind of emoji. Let us know that that's happened to you.
Yeah, definitely. And tell us a story about it, because so many people have had that experience. They don't realize they're actually vibrating. Like, they're vibing. Well, we're all vibrating, but they're vibing off of that person.
Yeah.
So what happens, I'll give you some background information first. So what happens when you have a negative experience, or you start to have dense energy be stored or blocked in your body, you're not moving that energy, then it becomes blocked or like stuck, kind of. And then that can cause anything from illness, disease, physical pain, lethargy, headaches, any kind of physical ailment. And so then what I do is I will go through each of your 7 chakras. I work through your 7 chakras. I'll start with a clearing of your entire field. There's a plane going over me right now. I don't know if you can hear it. But I will start with a clearing of your entire field. You'll be lying down on a table in front of me or in the comfort of your own home, because I do remote sessions as well. People are
Okay.
like, how does that work? Which I'll talk about after. So if you're in an in-person session with me, you're lying down on a table. I'll clear your entire field, and then hit a still, and then I will go through and just kind of see what chakras need the most attention and start there. And from there, I'll just go to where I'm called. And then what happens is we store different emotional imprints in our chakras. And so when, for an example, your root chakra, it stores like anything that has to do with family, finances, some sex. Your sacral chakra right above it it's like your creative center, your center of sensuality, your relationship with yourself and other people. So I'll get like tidbits of information depending
Mm-hmm.
on what is relevant to you at this time in your journey and what you need for this healing that is going on in this moment. So then I don't touch the person. My hands are over you because I don't need to touch you in order to feel your energy. And then within your energy field is where the messages come through. Because actually 80% of our emotions are stored in our energy field. And from there, that's when, if there's blocks and stuff, then it manifests physically. So yeah, so I just work my way through each of your chakras. Whatever comes up, I will relay the information, and then give you what is coming through me, the best advice at
Mm-hmm.
this time moving forward. It's kind of like going to a chiropractor. The more that you do on your own, the more you'll maintain the healing. And then people feel very relaxed. They will report like their pain is gone. There's I've healed athlete's foot. I've healed a stress fracture. Will help to accelerate the healing. Just people with like everyday back pain and shoulder pain, knee pain, helping people mend like broken hearts or even help them leave relationships, stuff like that. And then just to help people feel relaxed and calm and not so stressed out. So then the end of
Awesome.
the session, yeah, you're just lying on the table, super relaxed, and then we go over anything that came up, if anything resonated or they'd like further guidance. And
Okay.
yeah, I don't touch them the entire session unless I'm laying a crystal on their body, and that's about it.
Cool. So, yeah, let's say I am not there and I'm not able to work with you at this point. What are some other tools that you use to kind of, let's say I'm having a day where my energy is down, I'm not feeling the greatest, but what are some tools that you use other than necessarily the Reiki to kind of boost your energy and flip it to a more positive state?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I will say, if you're not with me in person, we could always do a remote session, because you don't have to be with the person to access their energy field, because energy is non-local, non-linear. It's
Okay.
not affected by time and space. Time and space are constraints that we as humans put on, like the whatever is going on in the universe, but
Yeah.
it doesn't actually exist. So that's one. And number two, the number one thing that I would recommend to people who may need like an energy boost is to ground. So that is walking outside barefoot or just getting yourself barefoot with the earth.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have access to the outdoors, then you could always meditate and kind of visualize yourself in the outdoors, just lying in the grass or in water. You can imagine yourself in water. It's very cleansing. Water is very cleansing. So if there's like a heavy energy that you can't really pinpoint, you could always get in the shower, go in like a pool or a pond or a lake, or visualize it. Um, and then to just kind of breathe, focus on your breath. Breath is so powerful, and it's so overlooked, how to control your breath and how it impacts your energy. And so and there's so many different breathing techniques.
Yeah.
but you can do research into which ones feel best to you. But just always like focusing on your breath. Belly breathing is really important. Breathing in, letting your belly rise instead of your chest. A lot of people are chest breathers these days. I guarantee if we ask the audience to take a deep breath, most of them would see their chest rise and not their belly. So that means you're in a stressed out state. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
you want to calm yourself and to start belly breathing. So breathe in through your belly, let your belly expand, and breathe out, let your belly fall. And that is relaxing, which is in turn energizing because you are getting your body out of the stressed out parasympathetic state. And then you can always, so we're always picking up energy from other people, okay? We don't realize that has an effect on our own energy body and how it may drain us. So you can do what's called an energy sweep, where you take your one arm, one hand, and you go all, from your shoulder all the way down to your hand, and you just sweep the energy off of you with the intention that you, and you can do it to each hand 3 times or do it to each arm 3 times. And you're just setting the intention that you are anything, another thing. Energy is all about intention. So regardless if you're doing it right or you're not doing it right, set the intention that you are just removing anybody else's energy from your field. And it's going to happen because energy is all about intention. That's all it is intention. So yeah, the energy sweep is a great tool. Also, you can do what's called, a great tool called return to sender. And that is a tool that I learned from my mentor, Janet Raftis. And it's just setting the intention that you can call at the end of a day, if you feel totally drained, you've talked to people, you've interacted with different people, and you are totally drained. So you've probably picked up on their energy. They've probably picked up on some of yours. So you could do the return to sender tool. So you just kind of sit quietly, take a few deep breaths, and then you set the intention. You could say it out loud or in your head. Just set the intention to call all of your energy back and send all of what is not yours back to wherever it comes from. And then if it's not welcome, then send it to be transmuted into the earth, because the earth can handle any energy. So that is a great tool. I often use that. I'm always returning to sender because I pick up on other people's energy pretty easily. And then just kind of telling yourself to disconnect after encounters with people. So those are the main tools coming to mind that are the easiest to like kind of get back within yourself and energize yourself.
Cool. So we've got grounding.
Yeah.
We've got the return to sender.
Yeah.
And then, so the energy sweep. And here's what I was thinking the whole time when we were doing that. I was like, oh, so we're like Jay-Z.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, you're literally brushing off your shoulder.
We got 99 problems, but energy's not one.
Yeah, definitely.
So, awesome. And so I don't want to keep us too much longer, but I know that you just, if I'm not mistaken, you're either in a fast or you just completed a fast.
Yeah.
So what did you notice from fasting in regards to your energy? I just finished with Ramadan myself.
Mm-hmm.
So that was very interesting to me. Just the experience of being able to understand what it was like to discipline your body to make that happen. So what did you notice about your energy when you were fasting?
So a few things. I didn't do this fast for like spiritual reasons. I did it to just give my body a digestive break. However, anytime you're fasting, it can allow you to connect more spiritually. And one thing I noticed at first was my energy totally dipped, and that's because I also didn't drink caffeine. And I usually drink coffee most days. And So after that, then you realize how in your head you are day to day. And so it was a great opportunity to get back in tune with my body, to really ask it what it wants, because people don't realize, but connecting with your body is one of the most spiritual things that you can do, because I mean, our body's a vessel for our energy, essentially our soul energy. And so to be able to connect with it without the influence of outside food or toxins, like sugar, refined carbohydrates, or alcohol or caffeine or whatever it is, to be able to reconnect and then to actually see what it is that you want or need to fuel yourself, then that is something that I learned, because it was hard. It was so hard to fast for 2 days.
Yeah.
And it took a lot, like, it sounds so cheesy, but it's true. Like, just kind of like telling yourself, not to have faith in yourself, but you're making a commitment to yourself, and making a commitment to yourself is something that everyone's like, oh yeah, whatever, I break commitments to myself all the time. But what they don't realize is when you make a commitment to yourself and then you break that commitment to yourself, you're subconsciously telling yourself that A, you don't matter, B, you're not worthy, and C, that if you're not keeping a commitment to yourself, then why the fuck would anyone else keep a commitment to you? So that's why it's a great tool to just kind of reconnect with yourself, which allows you to reconnect with your higher self. If you've never connected with your higher self, then it allows you to practice. And that's just through like breathing, meditating. You have so much time when you're not cooking food or eating food. So yeah, just kind of like filling up your energy and filling up yourself in different ways through things like breath work and journaling exercises, meditative exercises, stuff like that. So I don't know if I fully answered your question, but because it wasn't a super serious process, yeah.
No, absolutely. The one thing that I noticed when I was going through was how much I thought about food during the day.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's like we really don't need it. We've just become so used to it being available that it's just a habit that we have. Okay, I'm going to go eat something.
Yeah,
you don't
100%.
even have to be hungry.
Yeah, 100%. Just one quick thing. I saw this tree behind me. Another thing to do to really ground and energize yourself if you feel like super spastic or anxiety ridden, literally to hug a tree. Trees are one of the most grounding things that we could possibly come in contact with. And they're rooted into the earth, literally. So if you're sitting by a tree, touching a tree, hugging a tree, then that's a really quick, easy way to kind of calm yourself, calm your energy, and kind of refocus everything. But okay, go on.
All right, so who's ready to become a tree hugger? Let's get some grounding going on. And then, so I've got one last question for you, and it's a question that I ask all the guests.
Mm-hmm.
And so it is, what does no label defines me mean to you?
So that means to me just to be unapologetically, authentically yourself, because you could try to fit into any quote unquote label you try, and are you being true to yourself? So without having labels or without focusing on which category you are trying to conform to, then all you have is to be yourself. And without being uniquely you, then like, why would you want to be anything else? Because there's not enough yous out there. There's enough everybody else's.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. So where can people connect with you? Where's the best place to connect with you?
Yeah, so I'm pretty active on Facebook. You can just find me, Monique Hayes. I think my handle's Monique Hayes.73. and Instagram, Monique Hayes Healing, and then my website is also MoniqueHayesHealing.com, and in there I talk about Reiki more, what it is, some about my coaching practice, and then how to contact me directly.
Awesome. Well, Monique, thanks so much for joining us today. And if you enjoyed the episode, make sure and drop it down below so we know what you like the most. We'll go through, I'll drop the link to the website down below, and just let me know what you guys want to keep seeing. This was awesome.
Yeah, thank you. This was fun.
All right. Talk to you guys next week.
All right. Bye.